The tension in Guangzhou's martial arts community had been building for 20 years, and today it would finally reach its breaking point. Li Gang stood defiantly before the assembled crowd, his voice cutting through the humid air as he declared his intentions with venomous clarity. "I want your life, Huang Feihong. You finally came out. Today I want to avenge what happened 20 years ago." His laughter echoed mockingly through the courtyard, a sound that carried decades of resentment and burning ambition. The dispute centered around a weathered plaque that read Guangzhou No. 2, a designation that had become a source of bitter humiliation for the Lei family martial arts school. Spectators murmured among themselves, recalling how Master Lei had obviously lost to Master Huang all those years ago, making him at most only the second-best fighter in Guangzhou. The plaque seemed perfect for someone who had always lived in another's shadow, but Li Gang saw it differently. His eyes blazed with indignation as he challenged the very foundation of that old defeat. "You came here to cause trouble on purpose," someone accused, but Li Gang's response was filled with defiant pride. "You win the fight, so what? You were always defeated by Master Huang. I will never be the first in Guangzhou in this life," he taunted. But then his tone shifted dramatically. "Who says Master Lei is not the best in Guangzhou? The plaque of Guangzhou No. 1, 20 years ago, it belonged to Master Lei. Master Lei was invincible in Guangzhou. Who hasn't been defeated by him? If it weren't for the murder of the traitor, he still dominates Guangzhou today." The crowd's attention turned as Thunderbolt Hand Zhu Song stepped forward, his presence commanding immediate respect. "Li Gang no longer needs to wait for Huang Feihong," he announced with theatrical flair. "I, the Thunderbolt Hand Zhu Song, will come today to dampen your arrogance. It is you rubbish that have affected the Guangzhou martial arts community." His words dripped with contempt as he called for Huang Feihong to face the challenge that had been brewing for 2 decades. The formal challenge was issued with all the ceremony that martial arts tradition demanded. Death warrants were signed, acknowledging that in the pursuit of martial arts excellence, fists and feet have no eyes, and when casualties occur on either side, there would be no responsibility and no revenge. The competition would be conducted with respect for martial arts principles, even as it promised to be brutal and unforgiving. As the first battle commenced, the crowd witnessed a spectacular display of Lei family boxing techniques. The fighters moved with fluid precision, their shouts and battle cries filling the air as they tested each other's skills and resolve. However, it became apparent that something was amiss with one of the combatants. Master Huang's left arm, injured in a previous encounter with a storyteller, had never properly healed. This old wound became increasingly evident as the fight progressed, limiting his ability to defend and counterattack effectively. The weakness did not go unnoticed by his opponents. Strategic whispers passed between the Lei family members. "After Huang Feihong's left arm was broken last time, it's not healed at all. You focus your attack on his left arm, you can definitely defeat Huang Feihong and become the first in Guangzhou." This tactical knowledge transformed the nature of the combat, turning it from a test of pure skill into a calculated exploitation of physical vulnerability. The psychological warfare was as intense as the physical combat. Taunts and insults flew as freely as punches and kicks. "Everyone in Guangzhou knows you lose to me. Your Lei family boxing is so embarrassing. Stop being a human being, be a dog," came the cruel words that cut deeper than any blade. The emotional wounds were reopened as old grievances surfaced. "Your mother won't die. We, father and son, will not be displaced. I want to take back everything that belonged to me 20 years ago." The competition took an unexpected turn when a Japanese martial artist entered the scene. Master Matsumoto Shinobu arrived with bold claims about Japanese karate being world #1, a declaration that ignited fierce nationalistic pride among the Chinese fighters. The cultural clash added another layer of complexity to the already volatile situation, as East met West in a collision of martial arts philosophies and national honor. Who says Japanese karate is the best in the world? Our Chinese kung fu is the best in the world, came the patriotic response, though Matsumoto dismissed Chinese martial arts as just fancy moves that were far from being useful. This cultural gauntlet thrown down demanded a response that would prove the effectiveness and superiority of traditional Chinese fighting techniques. Master Matsumoto revealed his extensive experience in China, boasting that he had been in the country for 3 years, traveling from south to north and fighting against 28 so-called masters, all of whom had disappointed him. His arrogance was palpable as he declared that he had yet to see real Chinese martial arts, challenging the local masters to prove their worth against his Japanese fighting system. The formal competitions began with great ceremony, each match carrying the weight of cultural pride and personal honor. The first round saw Po Chi Lam's Mak Kwai Lan emerge victorious, much to the surprise and delight of the crowd. The victory was particularly sweet, as it demonstrated that even those underestimated could rise to the occasion when fighting for something greater than themselves. The second competition pitted Master Matsumoto Shinobu against Master Lei Zhenglong of the Lei Family Martial Arts School. The battle was fierce and unrelenting, with both fighters pushing themselves to their absolute limits. However, the intensity proved too much for Lei Zhenglong, who eventually succumbed to unconsciousness, unable to continue the fight. Master Matsumoto Shinobu was declared the winner, setting up a decisive final battle with Master Mok Kwai Lan of Po Chi Lam. The stage was set for a climactic confrontation that would determine not just individual supremacy, but the honor of Chinese martial arts itself. 3 days were given for preparation, during which strategies were discussed and weaknesses analyzed. Observers noted that Matsumoto had an issue with his left eye, suggesting that his vision was impaired on that side, a potential vulnerability that could be exploited by a clever and observant opponent. As the final competition began, the atmosphere was electric with anticipation. Years of rivalry, cultural pride, and personal vendetta had all led to this moment. The fighters faced each other with mutual respect but unwavering determination, knowing that the outcome would resonate far beyond the immediate contest. The crowd fell silent as the ultimate test of skill, will, and honor was about to unfold, with the very soul of Guangzhou's martial arts community hanging in the balance.